The etymology of the word seminary comes from the Latin seminarium, which is translated as seedbed. The traditional definition of seminary is an educational institution that prepares the student for ordination or other aspects of ministry. Much like this traditional definition, Meadville Lombard is steeped in history. In my first year of this line of study, I have come to know seminary as something very different. I prefer to define it as an intentional educational community whose purpose is to reduce the students' beliefs and assumptions to their very core. Through challenging introspection and community relationships, it fosters and facilitates understanding and growth into a new mindset, often more expansive and inclusive than at the start. We entered into this community as hopeful adult trees with well-established roots and broad branches, with water and soil that has sustained these branches and roots, diverse in their very origins. Only to have the experience of seminary trim the wild foliage of our lives down. Our instructors and our peers point out the various weaknesses and biases that placed our trees and grounds special only to us, resulting in our branches shading a select few while often neglecting others. We must be authentic. But what does that mean? What will we become? To me, this often means deep reflection on who we are or who we think we are. Sometimes we are shocked with what we find. And sometimes known biases are confirmed right before our very eyes. Not only are we required to prune back the biases and assumptions of our own interpersonal beliefs, but we are constantly challenged to discover and refine our basic theology and purpose for being here. For me, I have come to learn that the God of my creation is not a noun at all, but rather a result of our involvement in community and relationship with each other. In fact, God is more a verb, co-creating with us a bolder, more just and inclusive reality. From Dr. Sharon Welch, I learned that in order to accomplish social change, we must adopt an ethic of risk. To me, this has come to mean that we recognize responsible action taking, sometimes paving ways forward without the promise of grandiose rewards or outcomes, but rather due to moral obligations. An important aspect of this belief is the ability to re-engage after only a small success or even after failure. It also means we must ensure our actions are grounded in the diverse and pluralistic community, as it is only within relationship with one another we define what is moral. It means also that we engage in these risk-tolerant strategies and behaviors without the necessity of success. We shall not allow the expected outcomes of our minds to drive our passions. I learned from Dr. Mike Hogue that we as religious leaders must be mindful not only to perfect the liturgical practices within our own church walls, as so many of our ancestors have done, but rather we need to find a way to translate that liturgy into social justice work beyond our faith centers. We must boldly move beyond the traditional church and into the great unknown of humanity and human interaction and community. Only when we move into community beyond the church walls can we commit to combating the wicked problems, diverse in their manifestations, complex in their origins, and frustrating in their persistence. May we be willing to make ourselves vulnerable when engaging in social justice work, recognizing that according to Nato Hollister, solidarity often means being willing to show up and shut up unless we remain part of the problem rather than an aspect of the solution. May we all learn to be the spark that lights the fire. Let us blaze. So in summary, what have I learned this year? I have learned that community is key in the formation process, that the building of relationships is mandatory in bringing forth social justice, and beyond all else, I have learned the importance to ground my words, actions, and presence in all-encompassing radical love. May we be the ones to make it so.